What's up? Good morning, YouTube. How you guys doing out there? Today it's gonna be an educational video. I'm gonna educate the people at home about politics. I want to educate the people about your president. I want to educate the people about the media. But I'm gonna start with a social studies history class, and it takes you back to, if you paid attention in 8th grade, you would know these things. So one thing it's sickening me, and I'm just sad that people don't understand. When people bring up the 3/5 compromise, they did not pay attention in history class. You got some prominent people like Jay-Z saying in rap songs, and a lot of scholars and a lot of people just misinterpret this. And it's sickening. Like, if you got hot scholars and people like well-known like Jay-Z, educated, you think, put this out to the masses, and the masses don't do no reading, don't do no research on. Like I said, I don't think they paid attention to history class in 8th grade, because they'll know it. The 3/5 compromise started when let's just go back. Like slave, during slavery days. So the 3/5 compromise was all because of slave states. Slave states wanted to, they wanted to count the slaves as humans when they don't, but they said it was property. So the northern states, who was a free states and wanted to abolish slavery, they was like, you can't count that against your population, because if you get the more population you got, the more representation you get. And if they were to count every slave as to their population, they would have got more representation in the government, more House of Representatives, and all that to represent them. And that would have prolonged slavery for more than 100 years. So what the northern slave do, the 3/5 compromise came in, well, for every slave you have, let's count them as 3/5 of a person. So if you have 5 slaves, let's count them as 3. They had to compromise that, and it's so crazy and ironic, it's so ridiculous that slave states and these democratic slave people wanted to count people that they didn't think was human, as people past their population, but they was genius because they knew they was human. It's all mind game. They know black people was human back then. They just want to use that and abuse that to say, no, you property, you my property. What sick people there, and that's the Democratic Party who started slavery. Y'all didn't know. So the Whig Party was started to combat that, and became the Republican Party. So, and that's how it is today. And if you know politics, the more people, the higher the population, the more represents and more office you get people to represent the people of that state. So that's how it still is today. So they said for every 5 slaves, let's say counting 3. So time and time go by. That's how we got the civil rights. The Civil War started early in abolish slavery, the second country to abolish slavery in a faster time, because it was never going to get abolished if they would have had all slaves counted to their population. So that's in that narrative right there. It's crazy that people going around didn't know that. And Jim Crow Joe Biden is a senator from Delaware, always had racist roots, hung out with segregationists like Thurman, Robert Byrd, who was segregationist, and he was avoided busing. Even the Vice President Kamala Harris, his vice president, said he was racist on the debate stage. He has locked up more black and brown people. 1987 mandatory crack law was sentencing was different disparity of sentencing from white counterparts doing powder cocaine, and then black people have rock cocaine in the form of rock and a rock crack. They got more sentencing jail time because of that. And it had white people in halfway houses, black people in prison. And we can just all treat it as a drug abusers, as not the dealers, but the drug abusers. It's like a mental illness thing, right? So it shouldn't be nobody in prison for drug use, but black people got locked up because of Joe Biden. 1994 crime bill was needed because the Black Caucus went to Joe Biden and said, hey, people are crack is going crazy, hit the streets hard. In the 80s, late 70s and 80s, the Black Caucus seen needles and dope on the ground, fiends, people stealing and robbing in the streets, just murder, killing, everything, robbing, stealing, raping for this drug. The Black Caucus couldn't handle it. It was in their neighborhoods. They couldn't move out. So what happened was they went to the Democratic Party, the government, and they voted on the crime bill. Now, I think Joe Biden did it in all good intentions, but when you look at it, it was towards black and brown people, like in black and brown. I think he needed some kind of law in order, but he went too hard. 3-strike law been created by California. People love California. And that happened, and it locked up more black people than slavery days in the prison, just judicial system. right? So that happened. So that was a negative thing that set black people back. No fathers in the household was another thing that was back in. Married the government with food stamps, we give you TANF, we give you all this, but don't have a man in the household. That's a democratic thing. So they want to keep you on the, they want to abuse you and disenfranchise you and keep you coming. It's like a pimp. It's like a pimp or you in a abusive relationship. Give you everything you want, but abuse you and don't give you nothing because you know you're going to keep coming back, keep you enabling people to be on their own. That's the Democratic Party. And you think that it's your best interest, black people, but it's not. When are black people going to wake up and realize that? So Joe Biden did all that. Joe Biden still calling people, they're going to put y'all back in chains. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Calling LL Cool J boy. How many more racist things can he do and say, really do? Because to say, we already know what racist people do, he get slipped out. When you old, the racist tendencies to kick out. But what he did to black people, and we still recover from that. You got to understand, back then, slavery, people in slavery, black people was better off after slavery than it is today. Like you had the, people talking about the Oklahoma City massacre, not the massacre, when they did the what you call it, the riot when they Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. It wasn't Black Wall Street until after they rebuilt it with black money. We had a higher percentage in Jim Crow South and segregationists. We had a high what you call it, marriage rate. We had more education. We had more black businesses. We had more things thriving when it was racist laws on the book. Now there's not racist laws on the book. It seems like we don't know nothing no more. There's no racist laws on. Racist laws is off the books. You can do what you want. No red line and none of that. And black people was doing better off, and black fatherness was around. Now all of a sudden, when the laws are gone and everything is together, we doing worse off. It's ridiculous. It shows you that how you voted for the last 50, 60 years is not working. And I'll be damned, I vote again for the same party. So I want to give y'all a history lesson. I wanted to break that down to you. I want y'all to like, subscribe, share the video, comment in the video. Tell me what y'all think. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Hope y'all educated. Hope y'all in the comments be fair and be honest, be open-minded to what I said, because it's actually the truth. And I actually studied this and actually was great in history. So thank y'all. I'm out.